Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the Lair of Filmaru. Tonight I will be reviewing Danganronpa 3, The End of Hope's Peak High School. Now, I'm gonna be honest, my synopsis for this episode is going to be a little different because there isn't technically a full synopsis for it, other than that there are 3 arcs in this series. Technically it's 2 series and a movie, where we start off with the Despair arc, where we have our main characters our main cast from Danganronpa 2, led by Chiaki Nanami, and the rest of the gang, as they go through their high school life, and we also learn how Hinata became Izuru Kamakura, and how he became the ultimate Hope. We also see small cameos and glimpses of the cast from the first game, and we also meet the Class 77B's homeroom teacher. We also meet the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, Tenzin. We then have the Future arc, which follows the Future Foundation as they put Makoto on a trial for his actions of trying to fix the remnants of Despair, aka Class 77B, and all the events of the second game. And during this, we also see the final killing game, which is known as the Future Foundation killing game, where we watch each of the founders, including Naegi, Kyoko, and Asahina, as they try to survive the final killing game, with other members that we've met in the first arc. We also learn some of their backstories and what happened to them during the tragedy. We also get cameos from Makoto's younger sister from the Ultimate Despair Girls game, which I definitely have to play now that I've seen this series. And finally, we end it with the special episode, the Hope arc, which follows Makoto and his team and what's left of the Future Foundation to try and stop Ryoto. And again, he is the ultimate high school animator, or former ultimate high school animator. They follow him as he tries to create and put out this Ultimate Hope video that will completely destroy any traces of despair. And he is a part of Class 77B, except he wasn't involved in the second game. And he is essentially the glue that connects the Future Foundation to the remnants of despair. He has made anime for years, trying to end all despair and just bring hope to the world. And we see the cast of Danganronpa 2 come back and show off their talents as they try to stop Ryoto and try to bring him back to the light. A lot of people have given shit to this series. Like, a lot of people don't like it because they feel it's very similar to Danganronpa 1, the TV series, where they don't fully like the designs. Like, some of the designs do look somewhat different to their video game counterparts, which is very understandable. But honestly, I really enjoyed this. Like, I love learning about what happened to Hope's Peak, learning about the student council killing game, learning about how Junko started the whole tragedy, and we learn how Hinata joined Class 77B, and we also learn more about the class. We learn about Chiaki, who sadly dies in the second game. After we learn that she was an AI in that game, this series really brings to light who she was during her life and why she was so important. We also meet the teacher that gathered them all together and essentially helped create the remnants of despair because of what Junko did to her. Her name is Chisa, and she is the ultimate housekeeper. Yeah, we get to learn her story, and she actually comes back for the Hope arc and the Future arc. It turns out she's also very much connected to the ultimate high school class president, who becomes the one of the leaders of the Future Foundation, and she's also friends with Juzo, who is friends with Kyosuke, who is also friends with Chisa, and they are all the upperclassmen and the ultimate creators of the Future Foundation, along with Tenzin, the ex-headmaster of Hope's Peak. And we also learn essentially the end of the Great Tragedy and what happened to the Future Foundation members. This is a really good ending to the series. I can see why certain people didn't like it, because some episodes felt like filler. Some of them just felt out of place and didn't belong. I can't for the life of me remember all of them, because I guess they weren't really that important. But I can definitely say this was a really good ending to the franchise until we got Danganronpa 3V, which is essentially a spin-off game that doesn't take place in the timeline or in the universe. It's completely separate from the rest of the franchise. This series really gives us an idea of who the Future Foundation is, the organization that we constantly heard about in Danganronpa 2, how they're supposed to be the world enders, and we see that even in this series, despair can destroy anyone. Like, it just takes a video, or it takes a couple words or torture to place someone in despair and just destroy their point of view and cause them to turn on anyone that they care about. Like, we saw that with Chisa when she turned her back on Chiaki after she was tortured. We also see this with Mikan, who in this series actually does become a bit more interesting, because we see that she was the one that helped Ryoto and took care of him next to the ultimate imposter, who we still don't know his name, which is kind of sad, because I really want to I would have really liked a series about the ultimate imposter, and so we could find out who he really was in the past and of why he's so important, because half the time we're mostly only seeing his different personas, except for one where we do actually see his true form. We just never find out his name. I kind of understand that he has a problem where he's done this for so long he completely forgot who he originally was. I'm gonna be honest, there isn't really much to talk to, because again, these are 3 different arcs that essentially people needed to see, but also half the time I'm gonna be telling you guys what they're about, and there's not really anything special to talk about. Like, they're not the video games, they're not the books like Danganronpa Killer Killer and Danganronpa 0, which takes place during the Despair arc. I would really rather read that right now than talk about this series, because essentially it doesn't really do anything new. I mean, it just shows us all the events that we'd already heard about during the video games, and it does give us closure on the series, and it tells us what happened, shows us what happened to everyone, and it's a really good sequel to Danganronpa 1 anime. And I will admit, I do like some of the designs. I do really like the remnants of despair sequences where we see them causing the great tragedy, and we see them near the end fighting off these specialized soldiers that are apparently supposed to be the ultimate task force. It's a fun series to watch, and I definitely recommend it if you're into Danganronpa, and if you actually want to know what happens after the two killing games. You also want to find out what happens to Naegi and his sister. And if you want to cry over Kyoko, because there is a really sad scene in here. Well, technically two very sad scenes. We also find out about her current guardian, who dies in this series, and just gives a lot of backstory and a lot of knowledge to us that we needed to know to gain closure. But to be honest, there really isn't anything else for me to talk about, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell for more of our content, and I guess I'm forgetting the rankings. Sorry about that. I'm a bit tired right now, but I guess I can rank this 8.5 because while I do really like the series and I love watching it, and I enjoyed watching the series because it's really fun and it gave me closure to my favorite characters, it doesn't really do much different. Like, it's an explanation piece and it's trying to be its own story, but also we've heard about this so much in the series, and I guess we're finally getting to see what actually happened during the Great Tragedy, and we're learning what happened after the remnants reawoke. I mean, technically we don't get a series where we find out how they were woken up and how they regained their personalities, but yeah, this was a pretty decent explanation series, so yeah, an 8.5, because I was really entertained. Have a great night, and keep holding on to that hope.